Let's go over isometric good morning. This is one of the great exercises that I like to use to keep the hamstrings firing, lengthen them out, and it's a great tune-up to make sure that you're using your posterior chain. So how we're gonna set up, first, set your feet hip width apart, toes pointing straight ahead. It's going to be a lot closer than you think. Typically about 6 inches between your feet or like a yoga block width. You're going to have that tripod foot contact again, even weight distribution between your heel, the ball of the big toe, and the ball of the little toe. From there, keep your ribs and hips connected. Brace the core, don't move through your spine. I always like to say, try to keep the same distance from the bottom of your ribs to your hips. And if you can do that, then you know that you keep a stiff and stable low back. And then the thought is to drive your hips back and up in the air. There's not going to be too much knee bend. Your knees are just going to be unlocked. Again, the thought is to drive your hips back, not bend towards the ground. We're not doing a deadlift. We're not doing a squat. So once you get into that position, drive your hips back and up in the air, and we are going to lengthen out our hamstrings. I'm thinking trying to get as much weight shifted back, trying to even get my knees and my hips behind my ankles. That's how straight-legged I want to be. And think about lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling to keep that neutral spine. You're going to feel a lot of tension pulling in your hamstrings. From there, I try to see if I can go back further, another ½ inch or so without lifting up my toes or the ball of the feet up off the ground. And then last thing I want to do is I want to squeeze and tighten my legs. I'm thinking of two primary things. Trying to actively lengthen my hamstrings, like I'm gonna rip my hamstrings apart with tension. Second thing is I'm trying to tighten my quads, like I'm trying to straighten my knees without hyperextending them. The more tension I can create in my legs, the more that I'll be working my hamstrings. Again, I want to emphasize this is an active strengthening exercise, not a passive stretch. So I am squeezing really hard. I'm feeling that fatigue and burn in my legs. You might get some shaking, that's what we want. Good posture in the upper body, keep that chin tucked. You can either relax your arms here or put them behind your back, and you are going to hold this max squeeze, give me a lot of effort, and that's what's going to strengthen and lengthen your hamstrings. And that's how you do an isometric good morning. Again, it's not a passive stretch, it's a very active strengthening exercise. And this is a great way, again, to tune up those hamstrings.